Good afternoon, learners. Let's come to another edition of the reduction method on similar figures. The other time we looked at the reduction method from a point from one side of the given figure with a ratio which they give us 2:3, and the length, the base was 30 millimeters to construct a pentagon. But today, and when we were constructing, we use within a given line. Now we are going to use the same method, but this one we are going to start from one side of a point, from one side, but to be out, or it will not fall within the what? The side, by using it to draw a heptagon. And they give us the base, which is 20 millimeters, and we are using the radius 1:5. Now we are going to use different method. This time we are not going to use the previous method, which is the 45 degrees and the 60 degrees method. We are going to use the semicircle try and error method. Now if you are using the try and error method, then we need to know the number of sides of our heptagon, which is 7. Then the total angle of a semicircle is 180 degrees. Then 180 divided by 7, we are going to get 25.7 degrees. 25.7 degrees. When you have one angle of the heptagon, you can use it to do the rest. Now let's start by measuring our base, which is 20 millimeters. I'm naming it as XY, which is 20 millimeters. Then I'll stand on one point of it to construct my semicircle. Mean that because I want it to go to the other side, I want to stand on Y. Now when I stand on Y, I've opened it to X. Then I'll construct my semicircle. From here, I need to extend the line to cut the semicircle in which I drew. The angle, now our angle is 25.7, which is one side of the heptagon. One angle of the heptagon. Then I will stand on the center. Then I'll mark my 25, which is this 25.7, almost to 6. I've placed my point there, outside the semicircle. It's just guiding me to mark the angle on the semicircle. I'll place my rule to set it with the point and the center of the semicircle to mark on the, so that here goes 0, here goes 1. Then I'll use it, since I have 1. I will just use it. There's no need for you to use the protractor to measure, or because the angle is not accurate figure. So the compass will give you the accuracy. So what you just do is that just measure from 0 to 1, because the angles are equal when I measure. But when you use the protractor, maybe adding up, because the next value will be 25.7 plus 25.7. Maybe you may not get it correct. When you just use one side, with the protractor, the compass can give you the rest by measuring one side of it. Then you move your compass pin to the 1, then mark to get the 2. Then stand on the 2 to mark to get 3, 3 to mark to get 4, 4 to mark to get 5, 5 to mark to get what? 6. And the last one is what? 7. Means that we are drawing heptagon. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you will use your rule to draw a line to pass through number 2. Always, no matter how the polygon size is, it's always need to pass through number 2. Then mean that now we are going to use number 2, number y, and the number what? 7 to draw our circle. This is try and error method. And we have another one, try and error semicircle what? Method. The methods are different. If it was try and error semicircle method, then we are going to extend all the line from the center to pass through the rest of the numbers apart from 1. Then the distance from 2 to y, we just stand on 2, cut it on the line that we extended to pass to number 3. Then we stand on the number 3 where we cut it to cut on number 4, 4, 5, 6. Then after that you join them to get your what? Your heptagon. But this one we are going to use the try and error what method, not the try and error semicircle what method. In that what you just do is that you need to bisect then y and 2 and y and what? 7. I'll stand on y, open more than half of y and 7. I'll construct my arc. When I stand on, I'll do the same thing. Then I'll stand on number 2. I'll mark. Mean that the one with number 2 has not met it well. Then I'll stand on 7. It means that this arc, this one and this one is for the 7, y and 2. Then I'll draw a line to pass through it. Then I'll come to here. Here is y and what? 7. Where the 2 meet, I will name it O. You can come to draw a what? A circle. I'll stand on the O, the center of this circle. Then I'll open it to point 2. Then set it to Y. Set it to what? 7. To draw my what? Circle. Then after that, I will measure 2 to y. Then I'll cut. Then I'll stand on where I cut to mark the next stand, to mark, stand, to mark. Then let's name the polygon. Now here become our 1. Now the 2 become our 2 already there. Here become our 3, 4, 5, 6, and our 7. In that here become our 7. And in that we are going to join each of them. 1 is already joined to 2. Is our 1 to 2. Then 2 to 3. Then we have our 3 to 4. Then we have our 4 to 5. Then we join 5 to 6. Then 6 to 7. Then our 7 to 1 or 1 to 7. Okay. Now let's count it and see if we have the heptagon, which is the 7th side. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After finishing drawing the heptagon, then you use that one to do a ratio. Now this time we are going to draw the ratio from the point. We are not going to take it within the side. We are not taking within. We are taking the outside. Either I will extend my 7 line or I will extend the y line, and the y line is already extended. Then I can use, because I don't have my space here, I want to use this side. Or I can stand on 2 and 3. I will extend the 2, or I will extend what? 3. Or I will extend 3, or I will extend what? 4. Any of them that I want to use. But for me, I want to use the base side. I want to extend the XY line. I've extended the XY line. Then from here, because the ratio said 1:5, what you just do is that you pick, since I've extended the XY line, then I'm going to take my reference point at 1. If I extend the Y7 line, then I'm going to pick it at what? 7. If I use the 6, 7 line, then I extend it from the 7, I'll use the point what? 7. If I extend it at 6, I'll use the point what? 6. Where you extend, you use that point. Meaning that here, that is where the polygon point is, that's the apex of the polygon. Then I'll use that one to draw my division of what? Line in a ratio what? Form. I've drawn my division of line. Then the highest value is what? 5. This one, you don't sum them. Because it's similar figure, you don't sum them. You pick the highest value, which is what? 5. Then you divide it. You open your compass. You know how many times? 5. With a small radius. 1, 2, 3, 4, and my 5. Then after that, I will name them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I'll make sure that I'll measure one side where I drew my ratio line. I'll go and stand on that point. Then open it to 7. Then I'll mark it on the line that I extend. When I mark it still, because it's a semicircle, I'll get it on X. It means that this is where my line will be. It means that still now it will be on the semicircle point. Then I will join my last digit to that point. Mean that if you are not using this method, mean that unless you measure, then you cut it on the line that you extended. Now it tells you that the distance from here to here is the same as the distance from here to here. Then I will join it to my last digit. After that, what ratio did they tell you to draw? They told you to draw 1:5. Meaning that if the last line is on number 5, our ratio need to move to not number 4, not number 3, not number 2, not number what? 1. Now we are moving it to number 1, not number 4, number 3, number 2, but number what? 1. Meaning that place my set square on the reference line of the last digit, then place my rule to set it. Then I'll move it to points. Or when it shakes, unless you come back to set it again. In that your hand should need to be stiff on the rule to give you a correct power line. Now this is my point 1. That's where I can get my point 1. Now from there, you are going to stand at the last digit. Where the last digit hits your extension line. You stand on it, then open more than half to bypass the center, to bypass where the ratio line comes from, or the point of the ratio line. Then you are going to draw an arc, top and what? Down. You are going to bisect it, so they can pass through the exact point. That when you do that, it needs to pass through exactly on the point. Where it passes, then you go and stand on the center to draw your semicircle again. insert it, then you draw your semicircle down. Then after that, you go to point 1. You move to point 1, then you do the same thing also what there. Now, what we just do is that where you extend your line, you join the apiece of the other side to where it bisects the line. Now this is where it cuts the bisection of the line. This is where it cuts. That's the semicircle, the bottom semicircle. This is where you join it to the other side. Then the point 1. Are you seeing? Now we use the 5, which is the extension of the distance from y to 7, the same as the distance from y to what? X. That is when you join the last digit to it, you use to bisect. That's why it passes through exactly at the point. Now, and we use it to drill our semicircle. Now, where the semicircle touches or cuts the perpendicular or the bisection line, you join it to the what? To the other side of the what? The apiece of the vectors. And in that, obviously here take the ratio, and this one take the what? The other side. Then after that, you are going to stand on the ratio in which you are reducing it. Now we are standing on number 1. Now we are going to stand on number 1 and 7 to bisect it 2. If it was 2:5, you need to extend the 2 to hit on the extension line. Then you are going to start on 2 and 7. If it was 3, 3 and 7. If it was 4, 4 and 7. But now it is 1:5. We are going to, since we have extended, now this line and this line are parallel, hitting on the extension line. And we are going to start on the 1 and 7 to bisect it. More than half. Exactly. Now, where the 2 arcs meet, I will draw my line to pass through. This is the other one. This is the other one. The top one and the down one. Then, where it cuts the baseline, then I'll place my point here. The first semicircle was here. The second semicircle will be the 1 and the 7. Then I'll stand on 1 and 7 to draw my semicircle again. Then I'll go and stand on 7. Set it to 1. I'll set it to touch 1. Now be very careful at this place. Where the reduction number, which is the 1, cuts or touches the first bisection line, which is the point Y bisection line, where it cuts it is this place. Have you seen the first one? You do it to number 7. Now the second bisection line, where after drawing the semicircle, where it touches the first bisection line, which is this place, then you will use your rule and your set square. Place the set square on the first line of bisection to be in line then you move it to the ratio 1, then you draw a line to track the base. Then from there you use it to set the rest. 7, 6, and after that stand on the draw a straight line to all the numbers. See this Y or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1 to 5 line, and 1 to 6. Then after that you use now let me pick my reference. It's my set square. I've moved it. I will gain it. I'll mark it on the 6. That let me use my H pencil to dip it. Now I'm dipping it. I'm moving it to where then I will draw my reduction figure. Then I'll come to 5 and 6. Where it hits the 7, and I'll come to 7. Pick my reference. I'll move it. Now I'll come to my 3 and 4. I'll set it. Now I can move it. 3 and 4. I can mark it. Then I'll move to my 2 and 3 by setting it. marked it. Then the rest is already there. Then I'll join my 2. Then I'll join my 1 and 7. Now I have gotten my reduction form of the figure drawn. So this is how it will look like. With that, there are so many arcs. If you are not very careful, it will beat you. Another time for the reduction of method under similar figures. Keep on practicing it, then become perfect. I wish you all the best. But don't forget to subscribe, like, and share it to your colleagues. Have a wonderful day. Bye.